Hi, and welcome to another episode of PianoTV. So in today's Q&A, we're going to answer 4 of your questions that I've been asked in the comments that I think are suitable for like a shorter format type video. And 2 of those are going to be related to piano technique. So we're going to get to the piano, play around, try some different things. And as always, if you have any questions you want answered, leave me a comment in the comment area below and I will get to that. Anyway, let's get started. So I wanted to get you nice and zoomed in for this first question, which is there a particular finger technique or finger pattern that I should be using when I play octaves? And it depends. So when you're playing octaves, say you're doing a white key scale and you're just doing 1 and 5. It's impossible to make that sound legato or smooth, right? Because there's always a lift in between your notes. So the only way that I know where you can play octaves and keep it sounding smooth, and even that's kind of an illusion here, is to alternate your pinky with finger 4. You see I'm kind of crawling and it's like I'm crossing finger 4 over. And finger 4 is nice and long, so most people who have full-size hands are able to stretch their thumb and finger 4 when they're doing octaves. So when I'm doing white key octaves, I'll usually just do 1 and 5, but if you're alternating with black keys, that's another really good opportunity to use 1 and 4, like in a chromatic scale, or even if you're just doing like a regular scale with black keys, is a good way to do it. And then the same thing is true with the left hand. You can use 1 and 4. So if you wanted to do like say a chromatic scale really fast, the fastest way you could do that is alternating finger 4 anytime you get to the black keys. Or even just a regular scale, but again, legato, you're gonna need to alternate with finger 4. I hope that gives you something to think about. So the next question is, are there any finger exercises I can do that will strengthen finger number 4 and finger number 5? These are most people's weakest fingers. So the one, we've done this on the channel before. I'll link it maybe on the screen or below. 5 finger scale exercises, so pentascales. Pentascales seem like they're the most basic beginner thing ever. Like that's just they're just 5 finger exercises, and they're something that people learn pretty early on in piano usually. But I almost like them better than full scales for working 4 and 5, because when you do, say you do like a normal 2 octave scale, I'm just going to do this with my left hand. I used my pinky like once and twice, and I used finger 2 or finger 4 like twice. Whereas if you're doing pentascale, every finger number gets equal value because you're pressing all 5 of your fingers. So they're really, really good exercises to work 4 and 5, especially if you start working on speed. And or you could play around with different volumes. Like you could try quiet versus forte, or you could do staccato or legato, which is what we usually do. There's a lot of different things that you can do to switch them up. But yeah, I would definitely say 5 finger scales are where it's at. And some people use Hanon exercises, like there's that classic exercise. I think that's like the very first Hanon exercise. And I mean, I don't use them, but I get why some people do and why some people like them. So that could be something worth checking out if you don't mind like really, I guess, mechanical playing. As an alternative as well, you could try playing some Czerny. Especially like, okay, so I really like this one because this one starts at a relative beginner level, and it's all the early songs are in 5 finger positions. So again, you're going to be using your pinky and finger 4 a lot, just because you're only playing within a 5 finger range. And sometimes when you have songs that move all over the keyboard, you tend to only focus on fingers 1, 2, and 3. So I like these little 5 finger tunes because they spend more time working the outside finger. So question number 3 relates to hand exercises. And the question is, should I do any hand or wrist exercises before I play the piano? That's a really good question, and I usually don't, honestly, especially before, because I feel like if you do some gentle warm-ups and just get your fingers moving without putting too much strain on them, like some easy, slow scales or things like that, that's enough of a warm-up. If you're going to do something, I would just keep it extremely simple, like wrist rotations. You can do, I don't know if this is like picking up in the camera, but where you pull on the tops of your fingers and you kind of get that underneath wrist stretch. That was a tongue twister. That's a really nice one too. But honestly, for me, the biggest thing that I think has helped keep my wrists strong and flexible is the fact that I do yoga, or honestly, like anything that's going to build strength in your wrists. Like yoga has a lot of poses where your wrists have to support your body weight, basically. So it is a delicate area, but I find that building strength in that area is really, really useful to, be able to play piano without pain. So for the last question today, what canon should I check out once I've blasted through all of Koons's early level canons? Now, if this question doesn't make any sense to you, I'll link the related video where we talked about why canons are super awesome and some like beginner level canons to get started with. I'll link that on the screen here. So Koons's canons range roughly from like a preparatory to grade 2 level. So the point of canons is to be able to play with 2 hands doing like independent things. It's to build hand independence. And beyond that, canons are helpful when you're learning Baroque music. So learning easy level canons and then intermediate canons are all just stepping stones to get you to the Bach inventions and sinfonias, which are around between like grade 7 and 9 level. The sinfonias are harder than the inventions. And then from there, that gets you to the prelude and fugues and all of Bach's fugues, which is counterpoint, which is multiple parts doing different things with 2 hands. So that's kind of like the trajectory of learning canons, to develop that independence so you can do complex Baroque music or even just play other music better. So anyway, some book ideas that would be more of like an intermediate level. So inventions, again, like that's a big jump going from Koons's canons at a grade 2 level to like a grade 7 level invention. Now these aren't inventions, but the Anna Magdalena notebook by Bach has a lot of intermediate music, a lot of stuff written between like grade 3 and 7. And it's written in the Baroque style. And again, it's not a canon per se, but the hands do different things. So I feel like it kind of develops the same skills. Now, another actual book of canons I don't have here to show you. I will show it on the screen. It's by Ross Lee Finney, and it's his 24 inventions. Now, this is a modern composer, and these are like modern canons, and they're more of like an intermediate level, so you might want to check that out too. And that is all for today's Q&A session. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions for the next video, which we'll probably do at the beginning of February. I think these are good to pace at about a monthly level, and I have a lot of fun doing them. So anyway, leave me questions, and thank you to everyone who supports this channel, all of you who watch the videos, who are helping out on Patreon, which you can check out. All the links are below if you want to check that out. So anyway, thank you for watching these videos, and I will catch you next time. So in today's Q&A, we are going to do what we've done in previous Q's